Hello and welcome, Gary here. So today I'm out in my shop this morning and going to do a little video on my chute actuator. So what I'm talking about is this little deal right up here, and I'll get the camera and show you a little better view of it later. But this chute actuator is a product that I purchased from a company called Merit Automation. And I purchased it back in 2021, October of 2021, and that was when it was installed on my tractor. So the whole point of the chute actuator basically is from the factory, this will come with a little adjustment knob that you loosen up, and you can raise and lower your chute deflector here. So to kind of put the snow where you want to. You know, if you are close to a vehicle or close to a building, you can kind of lower it down and prevent throwing something against a building or a car or whatever. So we have a half-mile road that I maintain, so there's a couple places that people's cars are kind of close to where I'm snow blowing, so it's nice to be able to kind of tip it down. So since 2021, this has been on here and been working fine. Last winter, towards the tail end of winter, I started having some issues where when it's in the shop period, it'll go up and down just fine, but once I get outside in the cold, and I don't know if it's a cold or maybe a little bit of moisture or something that gets inside of the contacts here, it causes it to sometimes go down and it just won't come back up, or it just flat out won't go up or down. So the folks at Merit Automation, super good people. I've reached out to them with numerous questions and different things over the years, and they've always responded. He's got a little Facebook page, and he's really good to answer back on Messenger on there. So if you are interested in purchasing one of these, they're great people to work with. And on that note, I reached out to him and described what was going on with mine, and back and forth messaging, back and forth. He commented. He says, "Well, there's a lower limit switch and an upper limit switch in here, and sometimes they go bad, and could be, now it's insulated with this rubber to keep the moisture out of there, and it could be my fault because I take it out of here in a nice warm shop and it goes out in the cold. So anytime you got a climate change like that, you're going to get condensation. And so I'm not sure if that's what happened to it, or maybe it's just got tired and old and needs in need of repair." So anyways, he told me that he did have those parts and pieces, and if I wanted to, he could ship them to me, and I could try to repair it myself. And so that's what today's video is going to be about. They were kind enough to send them to me and allow me to see if I can get them fixed. So I'm going to do a little video and see if we can make that happen. So hope you'll come along. So a little closer view here. There she is. Basically what you end up doing is they give you all the hardware when you order from them. You'll have to put this little bolt in here and whatnot and mount the top part of the actuator to that, and then the bottom part. And believe it or not, all the holes are already in your chute thing, so you don't have to like drill new holes. But they do give you an oversized drill bit. I forget what those things are called, step drill bit, to oversize the holes to make everything, all the hardware work. So you'll get all the wiring that you see here down yonder here. I'll try to pull it out to show you, but there actually is a disconnect, and that's a weatherproof little plug-in deal. So in the summertime, you can just unscrew this, slide it back, and then you're good to disconnect your blower. And next year when you hook it up, just screw that back on there. So, but like I say, they give you all the hardware that you need. I had leftover wiring when I did mine, more than enough to get the job done. So inside here, on your tractor from factory, you're going to have a little knockout right here where you see this switch, and they provide you with that switch as well. And so you just knock out the little piece of plastic in there and wire it up and whatnot. And I mean, you can put that switch wherever you so choose to, but that was a suggestion from them, and I like having it there. So we'll do a little sample video. Mine is with the key is how you have to operate it with the key on. So I'll show you that currently it's working here in the warm shop. And it's functioning fine right now, but I guarantee if I was to pull it outside and go to start snowblowing it, I was just out yesterday and it didn't want to work when I was out there. So anyhow, I'll get to taking it off there and take you over to the workbench and we'll show you what I find when I take it apart. Okay, so we got over to the workbench here now. And since I really don't know what I'm doing, I'll probably just roll a video and we'll just do it a fast version of, so you don't have to sit here and watch the whole thing. But they are dated right here on the bottom. But I'm guessing it's got some screws on the bottom here. Those probably got to come out. And then up top here, if you pull this insulation thing off, there's another screw there. Maybe more hidden down here, I'm not sure. But like I said, I don't really know exactly what I need to take apart, but we'll get going on it and see what we find. So the package that he sent me, there ain't much to it, but I'm assuming one's an upper, one's probably a lower here, and then you're gonna have to get in there and probably solder it back together. So they're all on a little rail system, so I'm assuming this is what we're looking for inside. So hopefully we can find it and we can get it fixed and get it back together. But anyways, I'm gonna start trying to take it apart. Okay, those are in there. Definitely some moisture on that screw head if you can see it. And on that one as well. Yeah. Maybe it's grease. Kind of feels more like grease than it does moisture. Oh, wish I knew what I was doing here. Don't really know. If this boot has to come off, how in the devil you're going to do that, I don't know. Maybe. These are little Oh, they keep coming off, but they're little 3M tape things that you can secure your wire. Pretty handy. When I first put them on, I'm like, well, that's a pretty slick idea, but they surely don't stay in place. 3M tape just doesn't do well with the cold and all the snow, I guess. I don't know. Let's keep redoing them. All right. Well, that's a little better. At least we can see what we're working on. If I was a betting man, I'd have to say that's got to be in here someplace. So I guess we'll take these screws out next. Okay. Maybe these ones. Let's see. Is this mixed up? That one on the bottom, that one on the top. And of course, these are different lengths. Well, it's wiggling. Uh-oh. Looky there. That's what we're looking for. Okay. So I wonder, this wire part here looks like it must feed down in the bottom part. So maybe we'll have to try to get that apart next. It's coming. Oh my. Yes, indeed. Okay, so I think what I've decided to do here, I'll try to show you on camera. Might not show up, and it might show up. But basically what you got going on here is, let's zoom this in a little better. So you got your piece I'm replacing, which is right here. And that goes through the little hole where those wires are going through this base. And if you look right here on this side, right there is where they come in. I believe what I'm going to do is just going to use this little pick these wires loose somewhere down here. Actually, scratch that idea. Probably going to snip the wires closest to the point where they're coming in right now, and that'll give me lots of wire here to play with. And then when I stub the new one in there, it'll give me plenty of room to to work with soldering it. It's super fine wire. It's going to be interesting soldering. And then I guess at that point I'm just going to have to figure out some way of cleverly tucking all this wire so it doesn't get caught in those gears. Okay, so we got the the old one out of there, and then here's your two wires. So we've got our old one snipped off and a new one installed. And it was quite a treat with the wires down here in the bottom, trying to get everything tucked in. You probably aren't going to be able to see it, but yeah, so we got resoldered, and I put heat shrink on it. Tried to clean these gears the best I could and reapplied a fresh coat of Vaseline to it. And then in the bottom of this thing as well, there's like a little brass bushing down there that this part here rides on or sets in. So I re-lubed that up with Vaseline. So now I'm going to put it back together and try to get everything back where it belongs, and put it back on the blower there and see if we were successful or not. Yeah, one thing I do plan on doing is where this part seals up on the bottom there, you can see a little dark spot around the edges. There's an O-ring there. And so I think when I put it back together, I'm going to put a bead of silicone around the edge of that just to kind of seal that up. And then there's also this part here that slides over your shaft, or your cylinder rather, on the bottom right down in here. Again, I don't know if you can see, but there's a gasket there as well. And so we're going to try to get some silicone around that as well to try to seal it up and prevent future water from getting in there. So let's put it together and hope for the best. Okay. Put just a dab of Vaseline on this shaft as well, down by the bottom. Yeah. Actually, probably some by the top. Okay. This guy go over like that. Why aren't we going down? notice how things always come apart way easier than they go back together. Okay, what's going on now? Oh gosh, I hate to force it. There it goes. Maybe. Oh, dude. Okay, well, that's not good. What a devil. Really got a feeling I'm going to be buying a new one. I just don't know. Why won't you go? Don't know, folks. Losing patience. So, after several failed attempts of trying to get this down over that, I keep spotting me out on something. So, started looking around at everything and took it apart 1,000 times. The old one and the new one. See the difference there? This new one is longer. So I'm wondering if that's what's causing it what's causing it to bottom out. So I'm gonna mark the same height or length, and I don't know, I guess just some side cutters and nip that new one off and see if that don't work. Okay, let's try it again. Would you look at that? Apparently that was the problem. Well, hallelujah. Okay, so we got it all back together, minus putting the boots back on there. And yeah, so just going to take it over to the tractor, going to plug it into the pigtail, lay it somewheres, and see if it actually works. Okay, fingers crossed. I've got it plugged in, and I'm going to try turn the key on the tractor and see if we have any power. Fingers crossed. Hey, it's working. That makes me very happy. All right, so I am going to put some, get some silicone before I put that boot on, which means I'm going to have to let that dry probably. I'm going to try to seal up on this crack here, and then where this part comes down here, I'll put a bead of silicone all around that as well. And put the boot back on there, and put it back on the tractor, and we shall see come next time we snow blow if it's going to work. All right, so we got it put back together and everything is working as it is designed to work and functioning properly. So super pleased. I was a little apprehensive, had some issues getting that thing put back together. The new limit switch was just a little bit longer than the old one. And once I figured that out was the problem, nipped it off, made it a little shorter. It went back together just fine. So I did put some silicone on the bottom, underneath this rubber, the two joints that I talked about earlier in the video. And so I did silicone those up a little bit to kind of seal them up. Not sure if it was needed, but it made me feel better, so I did it. So as far as Merit Automation goes and where you can find them, I will leave that stuff in the description. They have a Facebook page, and like I said, I've reached out to them before on Messenger. They're really good about responding and answering questions on there. So, and then in 2021, I will check their current standings on where they're selling these if you're interested. But last I purchased mine was through eBay. So, and I think that's currently how they still sell them. So compatibility wise, you know, I think they would definitely work with both the 47 and the 54 because I think they're pretty much the same deal except for the little smaller footprint. As far as the new 3-point blowers that John Deere has out, I don't really know. You'd have to just reach out to them and ask them if they have such an animal that'll work for that blower, and I'm sure they'd be happy to answer you. And so yeah, so I'll leave all that in the description. And lastly, I guess I'm going to briefly try to touch on this. I've tried this video several times, or this ending part several times, and done several retakes. So we'll try to get it a short version this time. The fear of the unknown. So for me, a lot of times the fear of the unknown is, I don't know, just apprehensive about doing projects, you know, and maybe some of you struggle with that. I've struggled with it my entire life. If it's something I haven't never done before, I'm always a little bit, you know, geez, I don't know, never done that, and I don't know if I can do it or not. I can tell you that every time I've started one of those projects, I've seen it through to the end, and I've fixed the problem. There might have been a couple times I had to call for help or get somebody else to kind of help me through it, you know, a gray area. Let's just call it a gray area. But the end result is always super rewarding. It's super rewarding in two ways. It's super rewarding in the fact that, you know, you're pleased with yourself, the fact that you fixed it. And the other way that it's super rewarding is most generally with your pocketbook, because you pay for the parts and then you put your time and your effort into it, and you're not paying someone else to do it. So a lot of these things in life that you come across, projects around your house, projects with your automobiles, a lot of them are super simple. They seem super complicated to think about it, and oh gosh, I don't know what to do and stuff like that. But once you actually get into them, a lot of times they're super simple and and way quicker and easier than you ever could imagine. So anyways, enough on that. Again, thanks for coming along today. Appreciate everyone that watches my videos. Have a great day.